Here's one towards the goal. That's going to be gloved by Travis Ridgen.
Well, this is more like it.
This is Slangin' the Biscuit. Here's Travis Ridgen and Dave Wheeler.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back inside the Slingin' the Biscuit podcast. In the words of Aaron Lewis, it has been a while, almost 6 months since we've done a full show. My co-host, he still hails from the oil capital of Canada in Fort McMurray, Alberta. We are two guys with three eyes. That is Dave Wheeler. I am Travis Ridgen. I played 4 years of professional hockey, 2 of which were in Europe, 2 were in the United States. I'm trying to find employment post-retirement. We're doing this show. Welcome back inside of our palatial interrogation room studios outside the Winnipeg James Richardson International Airport.
Good to be back. I mean, it's not like we haven't been doing episodes. We've just had the pleasure of interviewing a lot of great hockey players, present, past, and future, and it's been very insightful. Hopefully people have been checking it out. A lot of great interviews over the summer, even non-hockey guys getting a little bit of a deep dive into the ins and outs of the industry and the relationships, and yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we have a lot of great interviews coming up in the next little while with more former players. And yeah, thanks to all the players that have been reaching out, ingesting a lot of the show, and really enjoying the content, and everyone that's been supporting the channel, whether you're subscribing or checking out the clips or the shorts or whatever it may be, or reaching out to us on our voicemail. It's been wonderful interacting with everybody. And
the voicemail returns this week, or this episode.
And now that I'm back on Instagram, people have been reaching out to me there at WheelerJ28, at WheelerJ28. And yeah, it's been fun. It's been great.
I've been hounding you for 3 years to finally join Instagram, and you finally did it.
It was accidental. Truthfully, I had a ghost account. This is the absolute truth. I had a ghost account because I left social media probably about, 6 years ago or so, somewhere around there. And I had a ghost account just so I could do my work as far as, music news you can use and stuff I do for my terrestrial radio show. And for whatever reason, one day, out of muscle memory, I punched in my old credentials and my old account popped up. Now, it's funny because when I deleted the account, somebody had grabbed that handle and I thought, okay, it's gone forever. And they must have let it slide. I punched in all my old credentials out of muscle memory. My entire profile popped back up. Everything, down to the followers, down to my post, everything popped back up. I was blown away, and I just kind of sat there and I went, I don't know what to do with this. And so I sat on it for a little while, and I talked to my wife about it, talked to you about it, and thought, well, it's there, and might as well use it for my radio show and this podcast and whatnot. And I've been enjoying it. It's been a slow insertion back in, but I've been doing some fun trivia stuff around the office, sports related and Manitoba and Winnipeg related, and it's been a successful return thus far. So if you want to give it a follow, you can go do that on Instagram. I'm not on anything else, just the Instagram for now, okay?
I'm just excited when people message me. I don't have to respond to that, hey, your morning show sucks. I'd be like, no, message this guy. Here's the ad. Here's the ad. I'm not dealing with this anymore.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to send all the DMs to that address right there.
Has there been any interview that stood out? And we'll get to our regular show programming in a second, but as far as the actual interviews we've done, because we've done probably close to 20 now, is there one that stands out where you learned the most or something that was really enlightening or kind of took you back?
TC Cummings was a really good one.
Which will be coming out shortly.
Yeah, that one I'm looking forward to for everyone to see and hear. He's got some really insightful stuff. As far as a player, I mean, Dale Weiss was fantastic. I thought he was really open and honest.
I feel like he blew up the hockey world. Like every news media picked up the clips from our show that week.
Yeah.
Of him torching Torts and Claude Giroux and letting Milan Lucic have it just one last time and just unapologetically being himself.
Yeah. Ido Walney, who drove all the way up from Wisconsin.
Flew all the way down from Wisconsin.
Yeah, just to be on the show, which I thought was really special and really appreciated. He actually sent a nice gift in his spare time. He makes cufflinks out of old watches, and he sent me some cufflinks, which I'm looking forward to wearing on a special event. And
for those that don't know, he's the NHL high net worth divorce lawyer, divorce attorney that came on and he really almost kind of like set the way for the rest of the interviews because we did him pretty early on last winter. And then him talking about the divorce stats and how guys really don't plan for life after hockey because they've beaten the odds, they've beaten the statistics to get there, so they're going to beat everything else. And almost like clockwork, as the dominoes would fall every single episode, every guy would almost tell the exact same story that Ido outlined in his profession.
And a lot of the ones, and I'm going to lump them all together, but a lot of the guys that have spent some time overseas, and especially some of the stories we got about Japan and playing in some of those non-traditional hockey markets, I find fascinating. I mean, I truly find it fascinating, and the experiences that they've had, and I love hearing those stories. Danny Stewart playing over in the United Kingdom and now coaching over there and starting a life over there, and it's just amazing hearing some of the journeys that hockey has led and bled into people's lives and really kind of changed their outlook. And no, it's fascinating, man. It's kind of cool being able to get all of this insight from these players and in a way live vicariously through them. And I mean, even you with all the travels that you've made and being able to draw parallels between their experience and your experience. It's been wonderful, and it's been very insightful.
I almost feel kind of like you when I was playing, because I felt like I was living it, I was doing it, and you got to live a little bit through me, and I got to share those with you. But now that my playing days are done and they are completely in the rearview mirror, I've kind of gotten to take the role of you, and I get to experience that through all the guys that we've talked to, which I thought is kind of cool. And I saw a bunch of comments too at the summer interview series. I like personally taking the back seat to you and letting you drive the boat, and I'm just kind of the dog on the bone when I see something really cool that I can just kind of dive into, but you kind of run the show. I feel like we've had a very good dynamic with that, and it's obviously been successful with the numbers.
Yeah, it's been great. There's been a few guys that have been actually quite surprising as far as and I'm not going to say intellect, but just how well spoken some of these guys are, because you get so used to a lot of the clips that you learn from them watching, all the sports channels and just getting the quick post-game interviews and whatnot, and then actually being able to dive into some of these guys and really hear what they have to say and their thoughts on things. It's been fascinating. And I think a lot of people have been able to see just how well-spoken some of these guys are outside of the rink.
Well, I feel like we've tried to pull the curtain back to get to understand these guys on a man-to-man level. Like, who is the person behind Dale Weiss, Rob Shrimp, Jose Theodore, Brent Sopel, when a lot of the mainstream won't? And I feel like it's been a very cool dynamic to see us kind of unveil, and as we've kind of figured out our interview style and how we're going to do the show moving forward. I mean, I've enjoyed doing the process with you. I've said it since day one. My favorite part of every single week is doing the show with you and sharing a great conversation. And we're not just two guys that do a show. We travel together. We do vacations. We're boys, and I'm happy to have you in my life. Even though you got one eye, I got two. We're two guys with three eyes. The one-eyed serpent.
Listen, the only reason I'm still traveling around with you is so we can find you a decent girl at some point.
Dave actually tried signing me up for Christian Mingle today. I'm a little bit hesitant on that one. We're trying to find some good women. If there are any good women that listen to this show, 25 or under with some good values and preferably no stupid sticker book tattoos, let me wait. You hear that?
Oh boy.
You hear that?
Here we go. What's that?
The sound of no liberal women anywhere near our beautiful palatial penthouse studios. There's no complaining.
Oh, boy.
There's no emotional hissy fits. There's no I'm hungry.
Oh, wait.
I'm tired.
Here they are. Here they come to load up the comment section. Here we go. You dog whistled all of them. Well done.
You know what marriage is for a man? Death. That's why a man wears black on his wedding day. It's the funeral. It's the funeral of the man.
Disagree. I have been living my life wonderfully ever since I got married. It's the best thing I ever did. Once you find the partner that you want to spend the rest of your life with, your life will improve tenfold, I promise you.
And I love that for you, because you've kind of broken all the statistics, but the game has changed quite a bit since then. So,
it's funny. Every generation thinks that it's not the same as it was. As much as things change, they stay the same. And when you meet the right person, you kind of go, I just had to wait for the right one. Sometimes you got to slay a few dragons to get to your princess. I slayed a lot.
With one eye, no less. Still love that Upper Decker story you tell. By the way, we're going to do the voicemail. Had a lot of complaints. People want to hear the voicemail. They've called in over the summer. There's a lot of voicemails to get to. We were going to unload all of them. Mm-hmm. What I would like to know, what do you want to hear moving forward? As far as the interview series, is there somebody you want to hear us interview? Is there something that you want to hear us talk about with the guests?
And for the record, there are a lot of guardrails around current NHL players. Those guys are completely off limits. We have had guys in the league reach out to us saying, would love to come on your show. When can I be on? We get everything lined up, and then they go, oh, I just got shut down by the team, by the communications department. That's happened more times than I can count, to the point where we actually tell guys now that are currently in the NHL when they want to come on, you're not allowed. Sorry, we're not going to go through the song and dance, because we already know what the answer is going to be when it comes down to the dance.
Well, there's only one guy that has come on the show and skirted that, and because he said, I know what I can and can't say, I'm responsible for my own media. I don't care if the team says yes or no. And if you look at our interview catalog, you can go and pinpoint exactly who that is.
Right.
He is the man, friend of mine. But it's happened more than once where we've had a guy, at least one goal in the NHL. We've had players, sorry, can't do it. Public media said you're not TSN or Sportsnet.
Right.
So leave us a voicemail. There's a voicemail link to call in anytime. It's in the video description. If you're on the Apple Spotify version, there's a link down there too. There's no phone number required. There's no U.S. calling, Canada calling minutes. You just tap that link, boom, punch in your name, your email. You get 90 seconds. You can say whatever you want. If it's positive about the show, negative about the show, what you like about, what you'd like to see us talk about, anything, we would love to hear it. We're going to get to the rest of that shortly. We did have a couple things to talk about in the programming today. Have you heard about the Carney Curse? The Carney Curse.
Boy, here we go.
0-2. He went to go support the Oilers, did the whole photo op. He's out there at morning skate, shooting the puck around, slinging a few biscuits, and they lose in the Cup final to the Florida Panthers. He's out there at Rogers Center, the old Sky Dome, supporting the Blue Jays, out there batting practice, and they choke. Game 7 extra innings.
For the record, I'm not a big believer in jinxes and curses and all that kind of stuff. But hey, then you know what? We can throw that on Drake too.
Well, I know exactly where you're going with that. When Vladdy wore the Austin Matthews jersey to Game 7 against the Mariners, I thought, we're cooked. Like, does he not know that this is, like, somebody should tell him? But then they pulled it out. It's all good. And then for Game 7, Austin Matthews posted himself wearing the Vladimir Guerrero jersey. Cooked him. What did you think of, and I know we're not a baseball show, I felt so encapsulated by the Blue Jays run. I felt so sort of captivated by the Blue Jays run. And the Jeff Hoffman interview, where he put it all on himself. He said, I cost everybody the World Series. It's my fault. I love the leadership. I love the responsibility aspect of that. But also, like, he was an absolute savage in the playoffs.
No, Savage was a savage.
Savage was a savage. Also, that guy's never going to have to buy a meal in Toronto ever again.
I'll tell you why, and the reason why I think it was so fun to watch is because nobody was expecting it. Nobody was expecting it.
But they finished first in the entire American League.
Yeah, we did. We had the season series against the Yankees because we tied them for games 1. But I think that division got a little bit worse, and that played into our benefit because our hitting was actually down this year a little bit, believe it or not. But nobody saw it coming. Nobody had faith in this team going into the season. Vladdy signed that big contract. We thought, okay, we're going to build around him for the next few years. But credit to Schneider, who managed that team really, really well. He was very vocal about the fact that it was a special locker room. Guys truly enjoyed coming to the ballpark, going to the clubhouse. They really felt like a team. And to go all the way to the 7th game, extra innings with the defending champs, it's just proof again. I know they say in boxing, you can't tie the champ, you got to beat the champ. Listen, as much as I would have loved to have seen the Jays win a World Series, that was one of the most entertaining World Series. And I'm trying to think, is that just because the Jays were in it that I enjoyed it so much? That was just an entertaining World Series, man.
Well, baseball.
Shohei, I mean, between Shohei and Vladdy, when Shohei was pitching to Vladdy, there was $1.2 billion between the pitcher's mound and home plate. Like, that's unbelievable.
Was it not a fantastic playoffs in general, though?
Of course
the Yankee
it was.
series, the Mariners series?
Yeah.
Because do you feel the same way about a decade ago when they were playing the Royals and the I think it was the Rangers, the Texas Rangers as well, with the Joey Bats bat flip. That was entertaining. But I feel like this topped it with Vladdy, with Savage, with Bo, with
100%, man. 100%. I mean, like Ernie Clement was so clutch. And I mean, Davis Schneider pulling out a home run at the right time. And Alejandro Kirk, the guy is as tall as he is wide, born and raised in Mexico City. He signed for a used car with the Blue Jays. Savage didn't make any more than $40,000 this year with the Blue Jays because he came up towards the end of the season. Like, there's just so many great storylines that came out of the Blue Jays this year. I mean, the Dodgers are what they are. They're a $1 billion team. They got the best player in baseball. And the storyline that show, hey, we had him here for a fly-in. We had appetizers with him, but he wanted the main course in L.A. That whole storyline, like, we don't need you. All of it was it was awesome. It was the cherry on top would have been the World Series. But, man, it was so much fun. I was in a chat group with my homies back in Alberta. Every night we were watching the playoff games. We were chatting in there. It was a blast. Like, I had so much fun throughout these playoffs, and I hope we go deep again next year because it was a lot of fun to watch.
I couldn't help but think to myself, and hear me out for a second when I go with this, I couldn't help but think, what if Trevor Bauer was in the Dodgers still? Wouldn't that have been Yamamoto, Shohei, Trevor Bauer? What a pitching lineup for the Dodgers if he was still around.
Yeah, Blake Snell, I think, pitched pretty well. I mean, that's a Cy Young winner right there. I mean, I know we're not going to get too deep into baseball here, but again, it was...
It's entertaining playoffs.
It was a heap of fun, man. It really, really was. And I follow the Jays. Obviously, I cover them in my sports, and I'm more of a fan of the Jays in 30. Like, that's where I watch my Jays games. But I watched pretty much every baseball game. Outside of that game, they went 18 innings. It was a little too late for me on a school night, but other than that, I was there for every inning, and it was a ton of fun. I will say, I wish there would have been a bit more of a lead off third base when we had the bases loaded.
In the 9th inning.
Just a little bit more, like a foot more off that bag, and I get it.
It's like Marty Gellin on Calgary Flames in 2004. Was the puck over the line? Also, the way he slid into the base.
You got to slide head first on that one. I don't know. I don't understand why he slid feet first, but hey. Here we are.
Like my dad used to say, if my aunt had nuts, she'd be my uncle.
First time that a National League team went back-to-back World Series champs since the Reds did it back in the 70s. It's incredible. And the first time that a team in Major League Baseball did it since the Yankees did it back in the early 2000s. It's incredible.
What do you think of the Carney Curse, though? You think keep that guy away from the sports teams?
I'm staying out of politics, man. You know what? Jennifer Lawrence said recently, and God love her, I think it was one of the smartest things I've heard out of a celebrity's mouth in a long time. She said, I'm done talking about politics. I'm not giving my opinion. It doesn't move the needle at all because celebrities do not influence whatsoever. They don't push the needle whatsoever. They need to keep out of it, and I'm not going to ruin my opportunity for someone to come see my art and my movies because of the way I lean politically. I want to keep that veil up. God love her. I think that's extremely intelligent.
It's nice to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think bringing Cardi B out to the Democratic rallies really helped them in 2024. I'm sorry. Oh, jeez. I think going on Rogan did a lot more moving the needle for DJT than bringing Cardi B out there. I will give you credit, though, and we're not going to talk politics. We have decided collectively we're not going to talk politics in the show moving forward. But if the Prime Minister is at the Jays game, we will talk about that. You nailed the prediction on the last election, by the way. Like to a T, you nailed it. I still owe you lunch for that too, by the way.
We're recording this show before the federal budget comes out. I think we're going to end up going to the polls. I might be right at this point. I think we're going to the polls before Christmas for another federal election, which I know is going to drive a lot of people crazy. But we're not talking politics.
But it's happening, and he was at the Jays game, and he cost them the World Series. Speaking of money, I did have in the notes too. Are NHL players underpaid? Kaprizov, Kirill the Thrill signs for 17 sheets. McDavid, hometown discount at $10 million. Nobody was expecting that. When you look at the grand scheme of things and how baseball players are paid, how football players are paid, how NBA players are paid, and the amount of wear and tear the guys go through. Personally, I think goaltenders are the absolute most underpaid of all professional sports with the amount of wear and tear and just how important they are to the team. And I'm sure somebody will leave a comment or on our voicemail line, which again, there's a link in the description to call the voicemail line. Well, when was the last time a goaltender won MVP? People just don't value goaltenders the same way that they value the guys that are on the front page, that are on the score sheet, putting up 3 goals. I mean, Hellebuck was fantastic last season, and I get it. Wasn't great in the playoffs. But goaltenders, I do think, are underpaid for the amount of wear and tear they take. But are NHL players as a whole, considering how highly taxed, especially the Canadian cities are, do you think they're underpaid?
No.
Why?
The money that an entry-level contract can make in 1 year.
$750? Is it $750 now?
I think it's closer to about $500,000 if my math is right. You can double check me on that. But entry level, I'm pretty sure rookies are making just shy of $500. But for a veteran, I think it's closer to about $700. That is a career-spanning amount of money for men and women that go out and do very dangerous jobs in construction, whatever. You pick your jobs that's hard on the body. Pipelining is hard on the body. And they don't get paid nearly as much as some of these guys do in one season. So as far as the job they do, I get it, all the things around it, the merchandising, the gate, the concessions, all of that. As far as are they being paid in comparison to other sports, you could have that argument all day. But to go out and play a game, something that you love to do, no, I'm not saying they're overpaid, but they are not underpaid. Not at the NHL level.
Let's just use the $10 million just as a benchmark number. Just a nice, round, easy number we can do off the top of our heads. Agent fee, I think 10%, 5%. I could be wrong on that.
I think it's 4% is usually the average.
Let's just go 5 because it's a nice, easy number. So let's say $500,000 on a $10 million contract. Is that about right? I think so.
That's about 5%, yeah.
Okay. So now you're down to 9.5, but you're still paying the tax on the 10. So let's say like with McDavid, there's no like way to defer it or to put it under a business name. You're paying 56% tax on that. So on his $10 million, which is USD, which is going to be 13 Canadian, 13.5 Canadian, basically by the entire country of Canada with the dollar. So that you're going to lose about $8 million to taxes. So he's got about 6 and change left. Lose the change for the agent fee. You got $6 million. So he's only making $6 million take home on the 13 million Canadian contract. You don't think that's a little bit underpaid for what they're getting?
You're mistaking what they're getting paid with what they're having to pay out. Mm-hmm. Could have negotiated his own deal. Then you can scrap your own 5%. You don't need an agent, but you get one so you can get a better deal, right? So that's something that he chose to hire as far as having an agent.
I still can't believe Ovi's never had an agent. He negotiates his own deals.
Right. There you go. There's a perfect example. I didn't know that, but that's news to me. As far as the taxes goes, we're in this whole generation of, pay your fair share. If these guys, look, there's always ways around it. There are always ways around having to pay that much tax. Most of the guys, if they have a good financial advisor, they figured out a way around it. Normally, when you see these guys doing, hi, I'm blah, 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 and I'm doing this charity event with this blah, 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 that's a lot of times is to not pay as much taxes to the government. They do it that way instead. They choose where their money goes. Look, the money that they get on paper is still a lot of money, regardless of how much tax is coming off, regardless of how much people they have to pay for training, all that kind of stuff. They're still walking away with a really good chunk of money.
Well, and did we not talk about when we had Ito Walney, the high net worth divorce lawyer, in the show? You and I, in the studio, we talked about how with Shohei Ohtani, $700 million was the deal?
Mm-hmm.
It's all backloaded, so he's going to get paid very little up front when he's playing in California, which is the highest tax state.
Right.
And with the goal being that when he's done, he's going to move somewhere very low tax, maybe a Florida, maybe, I don't know, some type of
Back in Japan, who knows?
tax haven of some kind. And he's going to get a lot of money.
Actually, I think they pay a lot of taxes in Japan, but anyways.
Maybe like Bermuda or something like that. Or Tennessee, no state tax, something like that. And so he's going to keep even more of his money, but backloading that. I'm surprised McDavid wouldn't do something like that. But also he did sign a 2-year deal to see, can we figure out our goaltending and make sure Stuart Skinner can make a save?
Well, I'm amazed that, look, I understand why he's a loyal guy, and he said, I'll give it 2 more years here. I kind of feel like he's playing a bit of the LeBron James game where he's like, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach.
Where do you think he goes?
Probably Toronto, if I had to take a guess.
Him and Pappy? Big Mac or quarter pounder?
I think if he had his choice, he'd like to go back to Toronto.
For the Leafs.
That's my guess, but who knows?
Yeah, I guess Lauren's from Toronto. I could see that happening.
Makes sense.
I don't know. We have a voicemail line. Feel free to exercise your God-given right to call us at any point in time. Leave us a message. We'd love to hear what you think. Are NHL players underpaid or overpaid?
Look, there's guys in the NBA that sit on the bench that make over $2 million a year.
Wouldn't mind doing that.
That see less than 5 minutes of playing time a game. So, you want to talk about, are some leagues overpaid? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Guys in the CFL, there's some guys that are underpaid.
Yep. $2 million a year to sit on the bench. I did it for $225.
Yeah, you wave a towel around. I mean, you're a good practice guy. You're a good locker room guy. That's fantastic. I know a lot of great people that could do that job, and they're terrible basketball players.
I did have this in the notes as well. Are we done with that? Are we going to change subjects here?
Up to you. You got the notes.
Do you think the Leafs locker room is a problem? I think they have a very weak soy boy locker room.
I think William Nylander gets unfair flack for showing some emotion when I can understand why he's so frustrated, because he's the only one that shows emotion on that team. And when I say show emotion, I don't mean emotion out of blanket statement. I'm one guy that shows that he's actually got a bit of a fire, and he's willing to bark that on the bench and not be shy about it and bark it at the media, where a lot of the other guys are a little more subdued. Do I think that's a problem? I don't know what goes on behind those doors. I really don't. I don't know who's running that room. But again, when you have a bunch of high-priced guys in a locker room together, sometimes authority falls upon deaf ears.
I feel like, do you see that interview that Marner did with Mark Masters when they were talking about departing Toronto? Final message to the fans, and then talking about the fans and the media coming to his house and egging his house and harassing his wife and his kids. Do you see that interview?
No.
He was so passive in his delivery that it almost came across like he was okay with his wife and family being harassed by these people, and it wasn't a big deal. And I get it, maybe it's part of the media training, but I thought that was the essence of, this is the energy when your family and your wife and your kids and your home are being attacked by these lunatics, these lunatic Maple Leaf fans, these losers, to be quite honest with you, and you don't have the balls to just say, you people are the reason why I'm leaving town. I can't stand this market. You people are insane. And it's just, like, there's just no jam there. And just how passive and docile they seem. It doesn't seem like there's any jam in that locker room at all.
He's also the same guy that said playing in Toronto, you get treated like a god. So I think he was able to take the good with the bad on that one. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, the more I've said this in every industry when it comes to show business and entertainment, the more people that you have love you, the more that small percentage of people will grow as far as the ones that hate you and be more vocal about it, and it just comes with the territory.
What's the percentage pool? You're playing the biggest market in the National Hockey League.
Right.
Arguably.
Right, and when you have the most pressure on you as well to win, yeah, that comes with this fair share of people that want to really tell you how they feel, and sometimes it goes over the line.
And when you're having a hissy fit in the bench in Game 7 because you're getting shellacked 6-1 by the Panthers, giving up 5 goals in the second period.
Man, is he ever looking good in Vegas, though, isn't he?
He looks good with those white gloves.
Whew.
He's looking sharp. Him and Jack Eichel,
Man, oh man.
the misfits of Vegas.
They are
I like Carter Hart there. Can we? You want to leave that, or do you want to talk about that just for a split
up to
second?
you.
I just want to say we sat on this show 2 years ago and said the evidence doesn't look legit. I think they're going to be found innocent. Give the man a chance. Let him come back to find his game, and that is exactly what happened.
I'm curious to see if the other guys get a fair shake too.
I feel like, okay, hear me out. I'm just shooting from the hip here. There's like a sliding scale of like, okay, Carter Hart was very good with a lot of potential, and so that is going to outweigh the backlash that the fake news media and all the liberals and Democrats are going to give every team for signing the guy. But when you have these like fringe on the fence guys like Dubé and I think two of the guys are retired doing construction in Toronto. It's not, the juice just isn't worth the squeeze. I think Carter Hart was the only one from day one that was ever going to have the opportunity to get a chance past this.
I'll use Louis C.K. as an example, and for those that don't know what Louis C.K. What he went through, he was canceled. We'll use that as the buzzword term. He was canceled, and he came back when he started doing stand up again. He goes, "You know how weird it is standing up here on the stage, and everyone here knows what my thing is." And I think that's part of it too, is that the teams know what the thing was. The fans know what the thing was, and they just rather not deal with the thing. You know what I mean? It's not that they're not a good hockey player. It's not that they don't think that they'd be good in the locker room or good for the team, but they just know that there's that small percentage over there that know what the thing is, and they won't let you live down the thing even though you want to forget about the thing, and that they will keep the thing alive just to remind you. And it's not worth having that kind of little cloud, even if it's in the corner of the room, rain on that parade.
Kind of like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh.
Totally.
There's a nail in my ass.
Exactly.
What's wrong here? There's a nail in my ass.
You know what I mean?
Bad analogy. I know what you're talking about there.
Yeah.
It's just a shame, and I know you've said on the show before, it should be innocent until proven guilty. They were clearly proven innocent, but in 2025, and I guess
But the thing is still the thing. Regardless, it's still the thing.
the damage is done.
Right.
And the process was the punishment, even though they've been found innocent. And it's
Right.
unfortunate. I mean, I don't know if you saw like the first interview Carter Hart did in the Vegas locker room after they signed him. He looked aged. Like he looked like
sure.
he aged.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead.
Well, look, you look at anybody who's gone through something like that. I mean, look, these wrinkles didn't come by accident. You know what I mean? These gray hairs didn't come by accident. You look at a lot of guys that get into politics; they go gray pretty quick. You know?
I mean, look at Polyev. Look at how old he's looking the last couple of years.
Trudeau as well. I mean, it aged him pretty well over the 9 years that he was in there.
Yeah, he made it like a bandit. He's dating Katy Perry now.
Yeah, good pull, right?
Not bad.
Yeah.
No, I saw a meme the other day.
Hey, she kissed a girl and she liked it.
I was going to say, I saw a meme the other day that Trudeau and Perry are expecting, and Trudeau's the one that's pregnant.
He dressed up as Left Shark for Halloween. Oh, that was clever. Anyways, good for them. I hope they're happy.
F that guy.
Whatever.
Anyway, back to the Carter Hart thing. Like, the guy's hiding out in Sherwood Park, Alberta. He can't leave his home. He can't go out in public without being ostracized by the media or filmed out in public, which I would imagine is very stressful. And then he tries to get the courtroom filing to be able to leave to go down to the U.S. and do some training down there. I think they denied it, and they ended up accepting it towards the end. And then he's just waiting to go to London to get the proceedings done. And they finally, you're innocent. Like I could only imagine the piano off of his back when they finally said you're innocent. Or I think there was insufficient evidence. We think that she lied.
Yeah, man, I don't wish that against on anybody. It's a horrible thing to have to go through, and to have all of your dirty laundry put out in the public like that. It's pretty terrible.
I can only imagine when they're traveling the road, the harassing of the fans that we'll be giving him when they're going to the visiting hotel rooms and whatnot, or hotels. But hey, Carter Hart, supporter here. I've loved your game, support you as a man, and if you ever want to come on the show, we would love to tell your story in a non-fake mainstream media hit job, gotcha interview. Just man-to-man, equal playing field. We'd love to have you.
What else you got?
Last thing before we get to the voicemails. This is alarming. NHL goaltending has not been this bad since 1995. I was not even born when the goaltending was this bad. The average save percentage collectively in the league among starters, .895 this season.
I don't think the NHL is disappointed about that. I think they're happy that scoring is up. I think they're happy that there's more clips going up online of some pretty nasty goals. And I mentioned this a couple of years ago when we were doing the show. Players find a way. They just figured out. I think the systems are better. I think that the coaching has figured it out. I think there's a lot of data-driven evidence as far as where shooters should be shooting from, where they're setting up from. I don't know. I haven't looked at the power play statistics to see if that has anything to do with it. I mean, it might, but they always find a way. I mean, all that talk about, well, we'll make the nets bigger, we'll do this and that. No. The game figures out a way. And you know what? We will. It's a roller coaster. They might last a year or two, and then the goalies will figure out with metrics and whatnot how to get in those spots, and then they just keep figuring each other out. Man, it's a forever chess game, and I'm happy scoring is up, and I think the Vezina is going to be highly contested this year.
Well, we have a great interview with a former Vezina winner, Hart Trophy winner, Jose Theodore, my childhood idol, coming up in 2 weeks. But I think it's interesting, the trends. You go back to 95 where the league probably had 5 to 6 guys who were really dominant starters and everybody else was kind of like down here. And then you get to like the mid-2000s, early 2010s, you have 10 guys that are up here and then 10 guys down here and then 10 guys at the bottom. And how many guys in the 2010 through 2015s were throwing up 940, 930, 920? Like that was the golden standard. To now, everybody's kind of on the same playing field. Like with the exception of Hellebuck last season, everybody was hovering 915 to 900 roughly. The average save percentage last year, I think, finished like a 903, 904 collectively. But the fact that it's down to a 895 right now that's not NHL standard goaltending in the past 20 years. But at the same time, to play devil's avocado to myself, the goaltending has never been better. Guys had never been better skaters, had never been more skilled. So I don't know where goaltending goes from here to get better when it's already as good as it's ever been. The game has just become so fast and guys are so skilled. Mm-hmm. You have any thoughts?
Well, I mean, we're a quarter away into the season. That's always the time where you start going, okay, you can start making a few predictions here and there. I don't think it'll take long for the goaltenders to figure it out, as, again, the game is very stats-driven now, and I think they're going to adjust as they see fit. But I don't know, man. I like seeing scoring up. It's good for the game. It's good for marketing. I'm curious to know if this is happening in the American League as well and, throughout other leagues, if it's just a straight across the board thing or if it's only in the NHL. I'm curious to know if, after we're almost a quarter of the way through the season now, and that happened rather quickly, but any surprises to you in the league this year?
How bad the Rangers and Leafs have been?
Yeah.
Collectively?
Yeah.
Oilers have been. I'm amazed that Oilers stuck with Skinner.
Started slow last year too, though.
Well, not even that. The fact that they stuck with Skinner again.
I know.
I know. We've been hard. I mean, to be honest, I think you've been the president of the I Hate Stuart Skinner fan club.
Well, I don't use the word hate for the record. I think he's a lovely man. I just don't think he's the right fit there. I think they had better options, and they had better options in the offseason. They had better options at the trade deadline last year. They had better options again.
I can't believe they didn't pick up Gibson.
I don't get it, man. They had lots of options.
He has struggled in Detroit so far. But Cam Talbot is another guy who's shocked me with how good he's been. He's been fantastic. Matt's been pretty good in Seattle as well.
Motambo has been good in Montreal.
Yeah.
Has been
Mochambeau, as you call
the Mountain Bow. He's been great. Montreal has been a nice surprise. I think we saw that potential last year where they really started coming up and they played well in the playoffs last year and got bounced in the first round. But I think we all saw the potential.
What a great city too.
Yeah,
beautiful city.
You mentioned Detroit. I think they're on the up and up as well. I think Steve Yzerman's doing a great job of building a franchise over there. You watch them in the next couple of years; they're going to be contenders again. Vegas is just blowing my mind how good they are consistently year after year. Jets, I think, have a chance at the President's Trophy again. The Penguins, man, for a team that didn't look like they were going to be rebuilding, have very quickly bounced back again. We're only a quarter in, but they've been surprising as well. San Jose as well. Celebrini is looking fantastic. He has aged well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the league is exciting this year, man. I'm really excited for it.
The video the other night of Bedard getting out there, hung cheese, doesn't even know his own first name, scores 3 goals the next night.
Yeah, first hat trick of his career, looks great. I think he had a bit of a sophomore slump, but I think the Blackhawks, I mean, they're in a tough division. Central Division is going to be really tough again this year, but I think he's coming into his own.
Mm-hmm. It's been an exciting NHL season. What do you say we give people what they want? The main event, you wanted the best, you got it. The JLab voicemail call-in. What do you say?
Oh, yeah. Let me put my JLab headphones on. These things are beauty, man. They're awesome, and everyone sounds great on these headphones.
Well, and this show is sponsored by the team at JLab, and our voicemail is powered with the JLab headphones. And this holiday season, you can give the gift of epic sound with JLab, whether it's with their wireless earbuds that fuel the fitness goals that you have with noise-canceling headphones. They truly have the perfect audio match for everybody, and they even have a brand new Bluetooth speaker, so you want to bring it out to the beach. You want your earbuds, you want your headphones for the gym. They literally have it all. In this holiday season, you go down to the link in the video description. You click that link. You're going to get a nice little discount on your JLab products. And thank you so much to JLab for sponsoring the show, making the voicemail possible. Let's get to the calls. Oh, and also, as always, there's a link to call. Leave us a voicemail. We will play any and all calls.
Hey, buddy. I don't know who this new guy is, but he has a pretty weird input on women on social media. I think he needs to get laid. But I mean, I could be wrong. You know, he could have his boyfriend at home, but I don't know.
I don't think they like you.
Talking about me?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, going to be straight honest with you guys. A lot of stuff online right now stressing me out with these guys that are going through the ringer. There's been how many of us, percentage-wise, this went through the ringer. We've been told we've been a bad dad, we've been a bad man, we've been a bad person to society because some girl doesn't like what we do or wants something that we have and wants to move forward with a piece of our puzzle, right? I've been through it. I watched my dad go through it. I watched my dad walk out of my life and come back to my hockey game and junior hockey with the Portage Terriers, gentlemen, crying, but standing behind me. And I said, that isn't my dad, right? I've been through this. I went through this. I lived this. Gentlemen, this stuff with these guys, man, we need to set an example for these kids. We need to say, hey, kids, these girls will steal, cheat, and lie to have what you have worked hard for. That is life as a man. Boys, I am so stressed out with this. I'm living PTSD from 2018 when I got divorced. And I had to work my dick off to get my kids back and tell the truth.
I'm praying for you, man. I'm praying for you. That's, whew.
Let's call it for what it is, though. The system is rigged against men. It's designed that the women are the weaker sex. And they were for a very long period of time. But it just kept going and going and going and going and going, and they haven't recalibrated things with the way society is set up in favor of women today. So was that Mick Drumstick?
That's him, yep.
Mr. Drumstick, man. We love you.
Trav, about time you man up and do the ice bucket challenge, which was initiated 7 months ago, and you're such a clown. You're so soft. You can't do anything. You just sit with Wheels and you drag him down. Wheels, get away from him. He's toxic. His time in the Fed is just, it's got to his head, and I think it's time this comes to an end. End the Slang and the Biscuit podcast.
Friend of yours?
I don't think so.
All right. I thought the Ice Bucket Challenge was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Also, I take ice baths on a regular basis. What are you talking about? I hop in the cold tubs, man. I bought a cold tub. I put it outside on my mom's deck last summer or last winter. So whenever I would come back here, just take a hammer, bust off the ice, and then boom, go hop in the tub. Minus 30.
Sometimes I sleepwalk and pee outside in January. That's good enough for me.
You nail gun.
Hey, David. Hey, Travis. This is Gambit calling back from Washington again.
Yeah.
Hey.
Reaching out to you guys. Yeah, Sergei Bobrovsky, I think he's actually not even probably, I think he is the best goaltender on this planet right now. He's a real joy to watch. He did have that one rough game against Edmonton, but I kind of think that's just the nature of the beast. Sometimes you're making saves like crazy. Other times you're just letting stuff in that you know you shouldn't have. I know that that's kind of just the way anything goes, right? Nothing's 100%. But he's still a joy to watch, and he's one of the reasons of why I'm looking to goaltending myself. Not to any serious capacity, but because my younger brother, he's trying to get into hockey somewhat seriously. And I don't know, I just think it'd be just fun and pretty good for my health to just be that kind of flexible and that loose and just that active. So I'm looking forward to trying that out. Thanks, guys. Love the podcast. So I'll be catching you guys over the summer and next season.
If you want to be a weirdo, go be a goalie.
Hey,
Highly recommend it.
And to get something on your agenda and on your plate, something new, a new challenge, learn a new skill, I say get off your ass, be a goalie, start skating, dude.
Sure.
There's no better time like tomorrow.
If you got extra money, sure, because it ain't cheap.
That is another thing. You know what? Actually, I've said this many times before, but my mom has always said if I was born 4 to 5 years later, there's no way I would have been playing hockey with how the costs have risen. So for all of you calling in saying, I wish this show would end, my parents were 4 years away from this show not existing.
Yeah, wow.
So you're welcome.
Hey, Travis, this is Jason from Belleville.
Hey, Jason.
Calling in. They've got a new Ontario Senior Hockey League happening now, and it's the Northern Premier Hockey League. Probably be a great time for you to come on over and try it out. So reach out to somebody in that league, and hopefully we'll see you for a game or two here in Ontario.
Jason,
Have a good summer.
Love you. Appreciate the call. My playing days are done. That is in the rearview mirror. Those days are behind me. And I'm still very much burnt out from the game and the business side of playing pro. And I love doing our show. This is about as much hockey as I'm willing to put into my diet. And I love my travel series ride and trains for the time being. there will be a time where I come back and I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't mind skating again. I wouldn't mind stopping some pucks. Like,
But for fun.
yeah, like look at Jamie Phillips. He was in the exact same spot as I was when he was done.
Mm-hmm.
You talk to him on the phone. I hate hockey. I want nothing to do with it. Now he's all engulfed in hockey.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take a couple of years to get back there, but that's where I'm at.
Hey, Trav. Hey, Dave. Big fan of the show. It's Aaron calling from the UK. 2 questions.
We got a great episode for you coming up, by the way. Danny Stewart, head coach of the Nottingham Panthers, on the way from
coming
the,
up in 2 weeks
from the British Elite League.
Do you think that the minor pro leagues in the States translate well to like professional leagues in Europe? And do you think they're relatively comparable? So, for example, in the UK, you've got the Elite Ice Hockey League, which is mainly made up of ECHL guys, but lately we've had more D1 and Pro Europe guys come over. And then my second question was, Trav, you mentioned that at one point you almost signed to the UK. Can you elaborate on which teams that were, if you have retired? I'm just curious, because obviously we have import rules in this country. So, yeah, love the show. Keep it up. Take care.
I think the first question will get answered with that interview we do with Danny Stewart, head coach of the Nottingham Panthers. We go into depth into as far as the level of play over there and how it's certainly improved over the past decade.
I think the second one, too, he answers as well, because there's the EIHL, which is the top UK league, and then the league that my not-so-good agent was trying to find me a spot in is in the league under, so the second league in the UK, but that never came to fruition. So,
hey, Trav and Dave, Marco here. Just wanted to say I absolutely love the pod. I think you guys complement each other very well, and you guys do a great job of giving an unfiltered view on both hockey and politics. So please keep that going. I was Canadian proud. Trav, completely in line.
We don't do politics anymore. Carry on.
Sorry.
There's not enough Patreon members to do politics.
I was Canadian proud. Trav, completely in line with you, would love to go to the U.S. Or elsewhere. But right now, made the intermediate step and made the move to Australia around 2 years ago.
Nice.
Absolutely loving it here.
Yeah.
Trav, have you thought about making the move over? I mean, the taxes are lower. The weather's amazing. So much to see. Would love to see one of your travel shows here. And walking down the beach and seeing some 5'10" blonde bombshells isn't too bad. The women will approach you here. So being a 6'4" white guy has not been too shabby here in Australia for me. So we would love to have you. There's also the Australian Ice Hockey League, the AIHL. David Booth just signed with the Melbourne Ice team, so maybe you'd love to come over and strap the pads on for one of them. It wouldn't be too bad of a gig. But anyways, we'd welcome you with open arms. Trav and Dave, again, love the show. Hope you guys are both well and have a great summer and excited for the new episodes that come in the fall.
Are the women feminists over there?
My wife loved her time down in Australia. She lived just off of Manly Beach in Sydney, and she still speaks very highly. She's still got a great girlfriend down there in Inverness, and no, she speaks very high. I haven't made it down there yet, but I'm looking forward to the day that I do. I'm
Thanks for the
excited
call.
for it. Yeah, thank you very much.
Gentlemen, let's get down to brass tacks.
Uh-oh.
Address the elephant in the room. Stir the pot a little bit. I know I'm going to get hate for saying this, but it needs to be said. The Edmonton Oilers will not win a Stanley Cup with Connor McDavid as their captain.
Oof.
It has nothing to do with him not being there. This comment has no hate behind it. It's just he's the guy. He's just not that guy. The leader of the team should never be the skill guy. It needs to be your hard-nosed, battle-ready, drag the boys into the fight guy. Connor McDavid is a cold-blooded killer. He's an assassin. He's a Navy SEAL. He's special teams you send in to get the job done. Anytime the Oilers were down in the playoffs, you could see it on his face. He looked like a kid who just got told Christmas was canceled. He was frustrated. Doesn't know what to do. You need guys like your Jonathan Taves, your Dustin Browns, and now the proof is in the pudding, your Matthew Tkachuk's. Those are the guys you want. As soon as Connor McDavid is relieved of the burden of wearing that C, then will you see the Edmonton Oilers lift the Stanley Cup. Quote.
Yeah, I'm with you when it comes to I much prefer seeing a leader Not just your best player that leads by example, a guy that's actually grabbing guys by the scruff of the collar in the locker room and doing that kind of stuff. We've seen shades of that out of Connor McDavid when he had his hissy fit there. You know, not good enough, man up, whatever he yelled. But I'm with you. And Jonathan Toews was that he was, they called him Captain Serious, right? Like he just had to give a look. Steve Yzerman's one of those guys that was a quiet captain. There are exceptions to the rule, but your Rod Langways, I know I reference him a lot, but there's your guy.
That was your hero?
Love that guy, man. Guy wore Sears
Does anybody
catalog.
have a connection to get him on the show?
Oh, I'd love to
we
get
can
Rod on the show.
Rod Langway with the skullet.
Honestly, it would be a short interview. It would be, Rod, you're great. Thanks for your time. You're amazing.
Is he alive?
Oh yeah, he's still alive. Yeah, he's still kicking. But I mean, even look at the Jets captain Adam Lowry. I mean, there's you got a guy in your third line. Might even be fourth line this year, all depending on the way the lineup goes when he inserts himself back in. But those are the guys that lead the team as a general.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I agree with you.
Got to fix the goaltending. This is our last call today. Kate Strachan.
Here we go.
What do you got?
Hello, my name is Kate Strachan.
Hi, Kate.
My husband played in the NHL, up and down AHL for about 11 years, has since retired. And I just came across your show, specifically the episode about divorce and some of the interesting things that you guys were talking about. I'm interested to know if you've ever had a wife of a retired pro hockey player chat with you guys or ever had that perspective.
Would love to.
Most of them hate me, so no.
I would love to.
So please let me know if you're interested.
Yes.
Would love to chat.
Yes.
Come on the show anytime.
Yes.
This is Strachan.
Would absolutely love to. Yes. The answer is yes. Yes.
Unless yes means no.
No,
and then no means yes.
No, truthfully, I'd love to get some insight because it sounds like they have figured it out, and I'm guessing, but she could probably pinpoint some of the relationships that she saw throughout her tenure with her husband playing in the league, being able to go, yep, saw this, saw that. They weren't all like this, and she'll probably add some really good parody to the conversations we've had because it probably did seem really one-sided. And for somebody that has been able to make it work, and we, talked to a few players who have been able to make it work, but it's not easy. So I would love that perspective. Absolutely, we welcome that.
Well, to be fair, I think we've talked to 20 players, and only 2 of them have been able to escape the divorce machine.
But again, I mean, they're a small percentage, but at the same time, it would love to get more of that context because in the grand scheme of things, there are a lot of young ears that hear this show. There are a lot of them, like, I don't want all of them to get spoiled on the fact that they're like, oh, they heard it on a podcast. I'm not going to be able to meet a girl until I'm done playing hockey. It's not impossible. There are tricks of the trade. And, getting some insight like that, I think, is definitely going to help players that are maybe kind of weary about exploring that.
Well, you can, but don't get married and sign a contract letting the government know where you put your dick and make sure your assets are set up in a way where she's not going to take half your shit immediately the second she decides to pull a pin.
The Strachan is a good name in hockey. It's a good name in Canada. We would love to have you on the show. Trav, please set that up.
Kate, thanks for the call. And if you want to be a part of this show, we will do new episodes like this, not every single Sunday because those will be our interviews. If you want to see more episodes like this, we have a Patreon page. You support that, this will become more of a regular thing. If not, we're going to continue our interview series. If there's somebody you want to hear, call us, let us know. We'd love to hear about that. If you are somebody who wants to come on the show, send me a message and let's find out if we can get you on the show sometime soon. I'm Travis Ridgen, former professional hockey player. That is Dave Wheeler, Winnipeg's top morning radio show host in Winnipeg for over 20 years and counting, almost longer than I've been alive. We do new shows every single Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 in the prairies, 9 on the foothills, 8 in the Pacific Northwest. We'll see you soon. See you next Sunday with Jose Theodore coming on the show.